What's up guys, this is Void of Dust Gaming, your channel for fresh Arena of Valor content, and as you can see, I am about to finish my placement matches in the ranked season so far, and I don't know how your experience is in the ranked matches, but this time it's really a pain in the ass. So after I played 2 matches, now we have come to the point where either on your team or the opponent's team, there are a lot of players who do not understand any basics about the game. And I brought you one game with Quillen today where you can actually see how one player or the combination of different players are actually going to put you back into your place, and you can do whatever you want to do, but it is not enough if your team is not at least decent to win a game. And this is something that I want to address, and this is something that I want to talk about. So first of all, I want to share my build with you so that you are on the same page as I am when it comes to what I brought to the battlefield. So as I said, we're playing Quillen in the jungle, and as you can see, this is a pretty standard Quillen layout. We've got a lot of damage items in that build. Of course, Quillen is an assassin. He is more sorts of a glass cannon, and therefore we are focusing on the damage items. With the Soul Reaver, we've got Cleave Sancti to enhance our capabilities of dealing with critical stuff and dealing more damage with that, Rank Break and Omni-Arms to complement the build, and the lovely Blade of Eternity to revive us if we struggle to get the finishing blow off in time. Arcana wise, I went with my Crit Assassin build. I think the smarter one is not Savage, which has been what was the name of that before? I forgot it entirely. So the stuff that you should basically use on Quillen was called Rampage. I don't know if that is the right termination right now, but because they changed some things, but it's the old Rampage. It's going to be better than the Savage with the critical chances. The purple and the green ones are set, so now it's Fairy. Movement speed and attack speed is increased, and we're going with Dragoon. Oh, okay, so what they did now, they adopted it to the overall global appearance, because this was Skewer and this was Guerrilla instead of Assassinate, which is the stuff that is going to boost your movement speed and your attack damage. So they kind of made it equal so that this kind of naming is now equal on every single part of the world. So if you have been watching Asian videos, for example, they already had the Dragoon and the Fairy and the Blood things before, so don't let yourself be confused with that. The effect is still the same, but they changed the names for the Arcana. Nevertheless, in the enchantment section, I am building the Sanctum of Light, which was the... Oh my goodness, I completely forgot how the old names were. So this is Sanctum of Light. Yes, we've got Holy Verdict, that's still the same. We've got Acts of Sacrifice, that's still the same. We've got Restore Plus, or the Enhanced Restore, and we've got Hellfire to boost our damage a little bit further. So this is going to be a video where you guys actually know how it's going to turn out in the end. I hope you still enjoy it, because I think it's going to address a lot of problems that we have right now in the Arena of Valor team composition and matchups. And this is just some kind of reaction video on my own gameplay and the whole setup, instead of being lovely and a lot of kills. But you guys are going to see for yourself. So if you liked it, a thumbs up would highly be appreciated. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, of course, hit the subscription button and put on the notifications bell to not miss any of my videos. And I would say that's a lot of talking. Let's focus on the gameplay right now, shall we? Let's go. All right, ladies and gents, here we are, and as you guys are going to see in the upcoming match, the team composition is actually quite similar. So we've got Quillen in the jungle on our side, with myself playing him, and the enemy jungler is Quillen as well. We've got a Crixie versus Crixie in the mid lane, and we've got Valheim on the duo lane. So this is basically the same layout, and what they brought to the course is a little bit different in terms of the supports. And we've got Elaine versus Arthur on the solo lane, and as you can see, we've got Poira versus Grug on the top lane. So it's basically the same, but a little bit different in the solo and the support roles, and I guess it comes down to the better positioning, the better encounters, the better team fights, and of course the better skill in terms of who is playing what character. As you can see, there is some action going on at the top lane already with first blood within the first minute. Pretty unfortunate. I would say they played it a little bit too aggressively. I know that they're standing beneath the tower, but it just seems that the combination of Quixie and Valheim was enough to blow our Valheim out of his life. I don't really get it, because what they should have done was just to rely on the first Greg hook. And with the first Greg hook, Quixie and Valheim could have just unleashed their power and just diminished the enemy's life in no time. So on the bottom lane starts something that we're going to see continuously throughout the game. Elaine has been beaten by Arthur. Our Valheim has been beaten again by the other Valheim. So we are facing a really, really unfortunate 0 versus 3 within the first 2 minutes. Now it's 0 versus 4 within the first 2 minutes, and that's super unfortunate. Like, this is a start that you don't want to have in any sort of game, and now Arthur has even made a better gaming choice and destroyed the Darkslayer for the first time. So 2 minutes played, and you can already tell that we are facing an uphill battle, because the enemies have just secured the most important kills, which means their AD carry has scored several kills, which are going to boost him throughout the game. So that's a nice kickstart here, and they have secured the first objective, while I was not even close to contesting it, and that was so unfortunate that I can't even tell. I did a mistake here on leveling my abilities, but it doesn't really matter because I have not put them to the test yet, which means that I can use them later on, which is right now. I was just trying to jump in for a short period of time, which is basically a really bad decision. So mark my words, don't do that. That was completely unnecessary. Led to another double kill for Valheim. So I just kept on feeding this person, or this player, or this hero. And 0-7 after 3 minutes is a disaster. You can't put it in any different kind of way. This is a complete disaster, and the problem is it's going to continue throughout the game. This is just showing how we are going to tackle this kind of thing here. Again, enemies are going in. Greg is now hooking. I've got the opportunity to get a kill here, but unfortunately I have been stunned by the Poira thing. Another bloodbath. So now Quixie is dead. We are already here sitting on 0 kills. This is the first kill in the entire game after 4 minutes that my team has been able to score, and it was my kill. So that's going to tell you something. The laners have not really done what they are supposed to do. Their task has been neglected, and the first kill from the jungler in the 4th minute is basically it. As I said, it's a complete disaster. The enemy can basically do whatever they want right now. They've got enough gold, they've got enough objectives that they have controlled throughout the entire game. And you can see that this lane has completely got no sorts of understanding of the game at all. Like, he's losing his lane, and now he's starting to kind of try to get back into the game by defeating some of my jungle creeps, which is the exact wrong thing to do. What you're going to do right now in this kind of situation is you are going to tower hug. You are just standing beneath the tower. You are going to take experience and gold from killing minions next to your tower. You're not going to do any smart ass moves. You're just staying put, and you're going to defend the shit. And if there is a moment where you are about to roam up to the middle lane because your kind of opponent on the solo lane has been gone missing, that's what you do. You're going to roam, you're going to ping, and that is what your team is asking you to do. This is your task. You're not going to have any kind of crazy shit. You're not doing crazy stunts. You are just defending your stupid tower, and that's what you are supposed to do. And if you're the jungler, you're not supposed to pick fights against 4 enemies. So this is entirely my fault. I was basically hopping into a moment of pure pain, but I can tell you, if you're playing this kind of game and it's 6 minutes in and your team has already been killed 13 times with the addition of 2 kills that I just have granted the enemy, my motivation was basically zero. It wasn't existing at all. I was just thinking, okay, we just lost the game. There's nothing that I can do against it, because my task as a jungler is to kind of look out for moments where I am actually able to make a play, which means I'm paying attention to what's going to happen on the map. And if I see that there's a fight starting or my team is going to peel, this is the time where I want to enter the fight, and I want to win the fight with my team for my team. That's my task. That's what I am here for. If this is not possible because my team is picking fights all the time without me having any sort of chance on being there, my task is completely gone. There's nothing that I can do about it, because the game flow and the end result has already been determined. I can't help my team if my team is picking fights without me and they're dying because the enemy's got numbers but we don't. So this is something where I said to myself, this game is basically lost, but I want to get the best out of it as possible. And that's where my motivation started to kick in again. So every time I play, I've got really limited time. As you guys might have known, I've got a daughter, I've got a dog, I've got a full-time working job, and I've got, in addition, some part-time job where I'm writing texts for online things about online marketing, about how to connect your Xbox controller. So every single time I invest time in this sort of game, I have to make sure that I get the most out of it as possible, which is basically, in the best favorable way, some content for this channel. So I'm not only playing for kind of entertaining purposes, but in the very best way. It's not only a good game, but I can show you the game because there's something to learn, it's entertaining, or I've been doing great and I can just show it off. So these are the 3 different regions that make games valuable for me. So I said to myself, instead of just wasting 15 minutes on something that I'm not going to show on YouTube, at least what I can do is sort my stuff, get my shit together, and basically try to get the most kills out of this game as possible and try to win something for my team. Of course, I was questioning myself if we can actually win this. I think if you are standing 3 versus 23, that's actually a pretty normal question that you're asking yourself. Is this winnable? And the answer was already, I don't think so. So I was playing against that, but I said, okay, let's just get as many kills as possible. Let's just be as good as possible. And that's where I started to get back into the game. So this is what kind of happened at this particular moment. So we've got Quixie here. Got a shutdown here for Valheim, which is actually quite good to kind of get him back into the game. I mean, what's really important about Arena of Valor is something which is actually quite crucial, and it's basically at hand. The game is lost when the core falls. As long as the core is still there, you still got the opportunity to win. So if you get all your team together and put them on the same page, focusing on the attempt to win the game, every single game is still winnable. Even with the worst players out there, you just need to focus on the same objective. Get some team fights, get some plays, and what happens sometimes throughout these games is that people get really cocky. So as you can tell, they've won all the fights so far. Most important fights have been won by the enemy team. What they're psychological preposition is right now is that they are completely dominating us, which makes them, and I don't think it's always the case, but sometimes people get really arrogant and they will start to fight in one-on-one or one-on-two situations that they can't win. And this is going to be something where you can start to make them pay for their failure or for wrong decisions. And that's something that you need to abuse, obviously. So if the enemy is starting to make mistakes because they pick fights they can't win just because they think they've got the gold lead, they've got a lot of kills and everything works quite fine for them, it's your chance to turn the tide of the battle around. So this is something that you should always bear in mind. Stay focused, stay motivated. Every game is lost when it's lost. While the game is still on being played, the game is still on being played. So there's any chance in the world to win a game, because sometimes it's just one team fight that's going to change everything. And sometimes this team fight is just won by pure luck. It's not skill, it's not the best positioning ever, it's not a strategic mastermind behind it. Sometimes it's just some kind of swarm energy, some kind of swarm hive mind that kind of takes the people into the perfect position, and you start to win games that you have lost so far. So you should always stay focused and always stay willing to win the fights. This is the most important thing. Now we've got a double kill here. Now we've got a triple kill here. So we really put the enemies at the stake right now. So things are looking really, really good. I'm sitting on Poira's ass right now. The whole enemy team is dead so far. She's trying to heal up. Unfortunately, I don't... Yes, we could ace her. I thought that we couldn't do it because I was so low and she was about to enter the tower range, which would have killed me. But I turned the tide of the battle because I've got 4 kills in a row. And now it's our time to push. Unfortunately, the game has already been going on for 13 minutes, and the enemy team did a much better job on securing objectives in terms of towers. It's not about the monsters. The monsters are experience and gold leads, but I'm already level 14, so things are actually looking quite decent. But the basic problem is that right now the enemy has pushed and destroyed more towers. And this is our downfall, because they did it. That just means that they've got the upper hand, and they've got a lot easier game, a lot more relaxing game to play. And as you can see, they're already closing in on our core. Now it's my turn to go back because my team has completely defocused what's happening in the base. I'm trying to get back, and unfortunately it didn't work out. So this was my fault as well. It's not just the team, but I can tell that because of how we set up the game in the first 4 to 5 minutes, the outcome was basically determined. So if we would not have made a complete turnaround, which we obviously couldn't, this game was lost after the first 5 minutes. This is just a really important lesson that I wanted to give to your viewers out there, or to you viewers out there, because this is crucial for the end game. Look at that Quillen. That wasn't the best Quillen player ever. And it's unfortunate because we lost a game. I spent 15 minutes of my precious time to lose it, and my positioning doesn't look too good, but here we go. I've got the 7th game in really, really shortly. I'm going to play it, I think, after I just uploaded this video right now. And yes, stay motivated, stay friendly, have a safe and blessed evening, and come back for more content. Would you? Bye-bye.